Here. Okay, so let's start on the OOV or using the ball. So if you have the ball, Lisa, you're just gonna put it underneath your tailbone. But we're just gonna start having your weights nice and handy. Let's start having a seat at the base of the ball or the OOV and just slowly laying all the way down. Find a good position where your tailbone is nice and heavy and the tailbone is on that unstable surface, and just allow your arms to relax by your sides, allow your head to rest. We're going to start with just taking a minute or so to breathe. Kind of notice where your breath goes this morning. If we think about a diaphragm, it truly has two functions. One is to move our lungs, and the other is to stabilize our thoracic spine just because of the attachments. And frequently, when we load our system, our body, the more we load, sometimes you may notice yourself where other people stop breathing. People just start holding the breath. And part of that strategy could be the fact that the diaphragm is acting more as a stabilizer as opposed to the mobilizer because of the lack of stability elsewhere. So when we're laying down on the OOV or with the tailbone up on the ball, when we kind of put our body into this position where the upper lungs are lower than the pelvis, we force our diaphragm to act as a mobilizer. So when you take a breath in, notice how your ribs expand outward. And then as you exhale, allow your ribs to soften down. Couple more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. Truly, the goal is just to allow the breath to go where it wants to go, but not holding it. One more time, we're going to breathe in. And exhale. Now let's grab our weights, or you don't have to have the weights, but if you have them handy, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Feet stay nice and heavy. We're going to take a breath in here. And as you exhale, one arm will go up and the other arm will go down. So we'll start scissoring our arms and then switch. Breathe in and breathe out. So as we're moving back and forth, notice stability of the torso. When we place our tailbone on unstable surface, whether it's the ball or the OOV, just gives us more information, more proprioception, so that we can really feel where our body's in space and we can start learning how to stabilize our spine, our core. One more time, breathe in and exhale. Arms come up towards the ceiling. We're going to open arms out to the side and exhale in. Inhale, open. Exhale in. Inhale out. Exhale in. Keep going. Two more. And last one here. And come back in. Good. Now let's let our right arm reach over and bring it back. Right arm reaches over and exhale, coming back. Focus on not letting your shoulder blade move up into the ear. So you want to kind of keep that shoulder nice and stable around the rib cage and move through the arm and bring it back. Now the other arm reaches over, exhale back, and out, and in. Good. Two more. Nice chin knot through the back of the neck. And last one here, and coming back. Let's lower our left arm down by your side. So you can stay nice and long as the easiest version, or you can actually bend your elbow to give a little bit less stability. Now, the same leg will lift up into tabletop. So now we have opposite arm, opposite leg reaching up, and choose how much stability you need on that arm that's down, whether it's elbow or the arm. And now I'm going to start moving arm and leg away from each other and bring it in. Exhale out. Inhale in and out. And in. Good. 3 more. 1 breath on each movement. Breathe in and exhale. And breathe in and bring it back. Now hold an arm and knee there. We're going to allow arm to go out to the side and bring it back. Everything else stays. Inhale out. Exhale in. Just the arm. The goal of adding props and instability to our body is essentially to give us more load and more information so that we can teach our system to control. Now we're going to add the leg. Hip moves out to the side as arm moves out to the side, and then they're coming back. Inhale, open. Exhale, back. And out. And in. Slow movement is the key. You want to minimize any movement of the pelvis on the ball or the OOV. Just focusing on that control. Last one here. Lower that leg down. Lower that arm down, either on the elbow or nice and straight. We're going to bring the other arm up and the opposite knee comes up into tabletop. First sequence, arm and leg move away from each other, and then they're coming back. Inhale out, exhale in. Excellent. And in. And 3. And 2. Last one here. And come back in. Excellent. Only the arm opens out to the side and coming back. This is rotational control in the torso, much more challenging. We tend to function more in the sagittal plane, kind of front forward flexion extension. So it's great to train our core with rotational stability. And coming back, now we're going to add hip pull out to the side and bring it back. And your opposite arm is on the elbow or nice and flat. Or if you really, this feels super easy, that arm can lift up. I can't quite do it yet on this side. 2 more. And in. Last one. And coming back. Lower everything down. So arms will stay down on the floor. We're going to bring both legs in the tabletop from here. So now we're focusing more on imprinting with our abdominals, pulling rib cage towards the pelvis, just keeping that connection. We're going to go into the single leg stretch. One leg is going to lengthen as the other knee pulls up, and then we switch. And exhale. And exhale. The further you lengthen through the leg, the more load you'll feel in the lower abdominals. And if you feel this too much in the lower back, just keep the legs reaching higher. Our goal is abdominals, nothing in the lower back here. So you don't want to feel your back excessively arching over the OOV. And out. 2 more. And exhale. Last one. And exhale. Both legs come in, back to the tabletop. We're going to do double leg reach, but we're only doing 4. This is a difficult one. So exhale, both legs reach out. Inhale, come back in. Exhale, reach. Inhale in. And reach. And in. Last one. Exhale, reach. Inhale, come back in. Heels together, knees will open out to the side. We're gonna keep this lateral rotation. And from here, you're gonna go into the heel tap and bring it back. And the other heel taps down and bring it back. Just keeping a little bit of an external rotation. Notice if you feel any clicking in the hip. If you do, maybe move that knee back to parallel. Try to find a position where that clicking might go. And bring it back. And last one here. And coming back. Both knees come back in. We're gonna lower both legs down, one and the other. And we're gonna come off the OOV or get rid of the ball here. Well done. Our next part is feet will go on the OOV. So if you have the OOV, you're gonna put it facing away so that both legs can go on here. If you have the ball, you can actually put both legs on the ball. So feet will go onto the OOV and kind of just find that bridge position. Or if you have the ball, feet can go right onto the ball. If it's too much to have both legs on the ball, just one foot is going to be on the ball and the other foot is going to be on the floor. We just want to add some instability. So both legs on the OOV, arms down, breathe in to prepare, exhale, tip your pelvis and roll up into that nice hip roll, into the nice bridge. And then we roll back down. And exhale, we roll up. We're going to do about 8 of these. Keep going at your own pace and then slowly roll it back down. Keep going. I just want to take a look at everyone just to make sure everyone doing well. Nice work, Jinhee. Good modification, Lisa. Yeah. Exhale up and inhale down. Probably getting there. We'll make this our last one as we roll up. And then we roll back down. Now one leg is going to lift up, tabletop or straight up to the ceiling. The straighter the leg, the harder it is. The other leg is going to stay on the OOV, on the ball, or on the floor if this is too much. Now we're going to lift up and lower back down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Working through that whole posterior chain, hamstring and glute. And down, good. 2 more, and lift, and lower. Last one. And lower back down. Now we're gonna lift up and hold. Leg will lower to match the other knee. And lift for 4. Down, exhale up. Working on endurance through that hip and hamstring. And lift. And lower the hip all the way down. Well done. We're gonna switch this to the other side. So the other foot goes on the OOV, on the ball or on the floor. Arms pressed down, opposite leg tabletop or straight up to the ceiling. And we'll lift up and lower back down. Pressing into the heel, maybe a little bit more. And lift. And lower. Halfway there. You can also bend the elbows and press down in the floor into the elbows. Sometimes this helps to connect more into the posterior chain. Last one, we'll lift. Hold. Opposite leg is going to lower to match the other knee. And lift. Down. Exhale up. and down, and up, and down, and up. Bend that knee and lower pelvis all the way back down. Well done. We're going to go into our flexion series. So if you have the OOV, you're going to sit in the saddle. If you have the ball, it's going to go right in the mid back. So you're just going to lean against the ball. Knees are bent. And then if you have the weights, grab your weights, 1 or 2 pounds, up to 3 really. So we're going to keep our weights just by our side, nice and handy. First thing, we're going to allow our body to go over the ball or over the OOV and just kind of stay here for a second in this extension position. Assess if it's too much and then just move down and move up. You want to feel that your mid back, your thoracic spine is right over the apex of the OOV or the ball. Now hands will go behind the head to support. So this is where you want to sort of help yourself control a little bit of that chin knot. We're going to breathe in. As we exhale, we're going to slide our ribs down and lift up. So not all the way. And then inhale as we go back down. Exhale, not the chin. Slide up. Inhale, we'll lower back down. Having the ball of the OOV behind us helps us know if our torso is stable or if we're rotating. You want to make sure that your pelvis stays in the same place and that we're only moving our upper torso. And exhale up. Inhale, lower. And lift. And lower. Good. Last one, we're going to lift up. Now from here, keep the chin tucked. You can either keep your hands here or arms will reach to the side. And I'm going to do little side crunches, reaching one hand to the other foot and back to center. And then the other and back to center. This is where you can start feeling too much neck. If so, you can bring one hand behind the head to support. Pelvis is nice and stable, and we're just moving side to side. And 3. And 2. The focus is to disassociate our upper body from the lower body and create that side bend motion. Come back to center, arm goes behind the head, and we'll lower all the way back down into the extension. Take another breath in. And then we exhale, lift the head. We're going to slide all the way up. So knees are still bent, you're still sitting on the OOV, or you're leaning against the ball. We're going to go into a little bit of that half roll back. So that my lower back is touching the ball of the OOV. Arm will come in front. And now I'm going to rotate to one side, back to center, and rotate to the other. I twist, and I twist. Notice that your hips are not moving, so the knees are staying in place, lined up. This is all abdominals. Well done. Now we're going to bring our right arm behind our head. Left arm is going to reach forward. And we're going to rotate to the opposite knee. And we're going to lift up. And exhale as we slide back down. Inhale up and twist. Exhale and go back down. Roll up and twist to the outside of the knee. And back down. Here we go for 3. And 2. Last one. And come back down. Sit all the way up. We're going to reset. Left arm goes behind the head. Right arm comes forward and then starts to reach on that long diagonal. So we're gonna roll back and then exhale. As we lift, we twist. Inhale down. Now, if you're in the ball, you don't have to go as high. You're gonna barely move to feel that oblique connection. And lower. 2 more. And 1. Well done. We're gonna come all the way forward. Legs are straight. If you have the ball, just get rid of it. We're just gonna be on the floor. If you have the OOV, stay where you are. Full roll down. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Allow the head to drop down, arms reach over. Deep breath here. Exhale, arms lift, not the chin. Sequentially roll forward, reach towards the toes. Inhale, we'll lengthen up, and exhale, rolling down, letting the lumbar spine to touch the floor, the OOV first, and then everything else follows along. Deep breath in there. And exhale, not the chin. We come back forward. And last roll up here. Breathe in at the top. Rolling down. Arms reach over. Take a breath in. And exhale. We're gonna come all the way up. Well done. We're gonna transition from here into a little bit of a kneeling sequence. So OOV or the foam roll will work on this one. So I want you to, we're gonna start with the right knee. It's gonna go inside the saddle. Just kind of let it balance, and the left leg is gonna come forward. So we're gonna find our kneeling position here. The foot, easier version to keep it the toes down, or the foot is gonna stay off the OOV. Now, let's do a couple of tuck your tailbone under here. So if your foot is down and the knee is on the foam roll or the OOV, you're gonna engage the glutes, engage obliques, and just really tuck your pelvis under. And right away, hopefully you feel the front of this hip stretch or open. From here, once you find that connection, allow your foot to float. Arms will reach forward. And we're gonna start with a little bit of a forward lunge. So we'll lunge forward, and then we'll go back. And it's not very far. You wanna feel that active stretch through the hip flexor, through the quad, and then back off. Lunge forward, and coming back. There's also a lot of control through that hip. The knee is floating in space, so the kneecap is not on the OOV, so hopefully it doesn't feel uncomfortable here. Last one here. Now arms are gonna go in the genie arms. We're gonna keep this position. Now we're gonna rotate our torso across that front knee and coming back. Exhale, rotate. Inhale in. We're still keeping the glute, abdominals connected. The rotation comes from the upper body, from the thoracic spine. And in. 2 more. Last one. And come back in. Let's put that foot down. Arms goes on the hips, and we're gonna actually stand up into the lunge from here. So I want you to come up and then lower back down. And lift. What OOV helps is to know how low you lower that knee down. This kind of gives you proprioceptive feedback. And lift. If this is too much work onto the knees, just keep the range of motion less. 2 more. And up. And last one here. And lower back down. Well done. Let's slowly come back and we're just gonna switch sides. So the other leg is going inside the saddle, right in that knee, just to give it that unstable surface. We come up in our split stance here. First part, we're gonna tuck a tailbone under to feel the front of that other hip open. So you wanna get the glute, you wanna get abdominals in, not feel it in lower back, feel it in the front of the hip. Arms will come forward, and we're just gonna start with very small lunges. Slightly forward, and then coming back. So active stretch through the hip flexor on the knee that's down on the floor or the foam roll. Also getting a really nice plantar fascial stretch through the big toe, through the foot. Now arms go into the junior arm position. Stay here. See if you can float your toes off the floor, so it's just the knee. Organize, find your balance. And then we're gonna rotate across and coming back. Exhale, rotate. Inhale in. Definitely more challenging for me on this side. And come back in. Sometimes when we add these unstable devices, like the OOV, the ball, the foam roll, it also helps us understand where our limitations are and what we need to work on in our body to help find that motor control. And coming back. Excellent. We're gonna tuck a toe under. We're gonna go into the lunges from here. So arms go on the hips just to feel where our pelvis is. And then exhale as we lift up. Inhale, lower back down. And exhale up. Inhale, lower. And lift. And lower. And up. Two more. Almost there. And last one here. Well done. Now we're gonna go on our side. So, OOV or the ball. If it's the OOV, you're gonna have a seat in the saddle. So the side of the body is gonna go over it. If it's the ball will just go underneath your thoracic spine. And then we're gonna find ourselves on the elbow here. Bottom knee is bent, the top leg is up. We're gonna go into a little bit of our sideline series. Breathe in to prepare, and the top leg will lift up and lower back down. And lift. We won't do too many here. And lift. You want to feel glute med, you want to feel the outside of the hip. Last one here, we're going to lift and hold, toe points. We're going into little circles. 4 and 5, and reverse in those circles. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Lower that leg all the way down. The leg is nice and heavy. Now, last week we did this with arm all the way down and the top arm all the way over. Now let's try to take the bottom arm and just cross it in front of the chest. And the top arm is gonna reach as we side bend and then lower back over. So exhale, side bend, inhale over. If this is too much, keep the bottom arm down on the floor. But we want to focus on keeping blood heavy and pulling our ribs down towards the pelvis. And lower, good. 2 more. And down, and last one here. And lower all the way back down. Now we're gonna come back onto the elbow. And from here, I want both the leg to lift and the arm to reach. Now we're gonna start moving in the diagonals. So the arm is gonna move forward as the leg moves back, and then the arm moves back as the leg moves forward. And back. The torso can slightly slide back and forth. And exhale. 2 more. And out. And last one here. And we're going to lower back down. Let's come up into the seated position. And let's have a seat in this mermaid position. So one hip is lifted. If you don't have the OOV, totally fine. You're just going to sit on the floor, hopefully. And then we're going to go onto the elbow, just lean and allow your body to side bend. Focus is on lifting the ribs, lifting, kind of creating an arch through the spine. Take a breath in. And exhale as we come back up into the seated position. And we're going to repeat this on the other side. So, placing hip into the OOV. We're using just the ball underneath our ribs. We're going to start in our side bend position. This can also be done completely on the floor without any props. Like I said, the only difference with the OOV and why I like using the props, it just gives more information to the body and it adds a sense of disturbance, of instability. I'm going to bring your arm up. Start out on the elbow. First part, that leg is going to lift and lower and lift. When I think of, building stability or what is equilibrium, it's essentially disturbance, creating disturbance, and then finding balance within that. So to progress mat Pilates on a stable floor is start to add OOV, props, foam rolls, balls to further challenge that motor control system. And lower back down, excellent. We're gonna lift, point your toes, and we're gonna go into little circles. Up and over. And last one, and the reverse of it. Focusing more on the gluteal work here. So if you feel too much in the front, just let that leg further back into extension. And well done, excellent. Now, we're gonna go on to all the way down, the leg is heavy. The bottom arm is gonna wrap around, the top arm reaches, and we're gonna exhale, lift up, inhale, go back over. Exhale, up and lift. Inhale, lower back down. So keeping the ball or the OOV underneath gives us a little more of a advantage to be able to do it. But this is a mat exercise where you're supposed to do it just on the floor. It'll just be way less range of motion. And lift. And lower. Last one here, exhale. Now the bottom arm is gonna go under. Arm reaches up, leg lifts. So we're kind of creating this active length in the line. And then start moving leg forward. And then leg goes back, arm reaches forward. Inhale, side kick. Exhale, back to the length. Inhale, flex. Exhale, extend the hip. 3 more. And 2. And 1. And come back in. Coming out. Excellent. We're going to go into the hands and knees next. So If you have the OOV, we're gonna put our elbows on the big fatter part of it. Arms will go forward. If you don't have it, you can just keep your hands on the floor. Once we're in the good position, we're gonna go into this quadruped neutral spine. Now, last time we were doing with the knee bent, so now we're gonna extend one leg straight. You're gonna find your position here. Try to keep your back in the neutral. Now we're gonna inhale, lift that leg up and cross it, tap it across the body, and then lift and let it go out to the side. So we lift up, go across, and then we lift up, move it out to the side. Lift and tap across, lift, tap out to the side. Good, 3 more. Up and over, and 2. Up and over, good, last one. And come back in. Let's bend that knee, switch to the other side, lengthen through the leg, either on the OOV or just arms down on the floor. Lift, let the leg go across, and then lift, it moves out to the side. So you want to focus on the movement from the hip joint. The other knee that's bent is working very hard to help stabilize here. Two more. Up and over. And last one. And come back in. Excellent. Now I'm gonna move my hands on the bigger, fatter part of the OOV. And kind of let your wrist, like you're gonna wrap around it. We're gonna go into the plank here. So the alternative would be arms up on the arc barrel or on the floor. Breathe in to prepare. One leg goes out and then the other. So now we're in this nice plank position. A little bit lifted makes it slightly easier, but having unstable or different surface makes it more challenging. We're gonna breathe. Find our core. Shoulders firmly pressing away from each other. Nice long line through the torso. Check in with your neck. Not the chin, length through the back of the neck. 10 more seconds. Excellent work, everyone. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's sit back into the prayer stretch. Take a breath in here. Slowly coming back. We're gonna flip the OOV onto the floor. We're gonna go into extension. If you don't have the OOV, you're just gonna go on the mat, flat. So, chest will go on this OOV, the biggest part, and the corner will kind of be right at the sternum, right at the xiphoid process, or just stay on the floor. First, allow your body to drape over it. Arms will rest by your sides. We're gonna breathe in, and then exhale, press into the forearms, lengthen up into the nice extension. Not too far. I want to focus more on chin tuck, neck extends, and then the upper back. And then slowly flex back over. Inhale, we press up. And exhale, we go back down. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale down. And last one. And lower. Now we're gonna reach both arms straight forward. Legs will stay either parallel or maybe a little bit externally rotated. From here, breathe in to prepare. Exhale, lift upper body up and slide your arms back. And then inhale, lengthen back over. So now we're using less of the arms and more of the upper body to extend and over. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale in. Legs are nice and heavy. Last one, we're going to lift up and stay there in the nice long line. From here, can we lift opposite arm, opposite leg off the floor and lower, and then switch and lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale down and lift and lift. Again, if you're on the floor, it's exact same principle, focusing on pelvic stability and focusing on initiating leg lift from gluteal muscles and the arm lift from the lower part of the shoulder blade. So the shoulder blade, you want to focus on not letting it elevate, so you're keeping it in that same position on the rib cage. 2 more, side to side. And lower. Let's press up off the OOV or the floor, and we're going to go back into another shell stretch. Take a deep breath in. Feels like restricted breathing when you have something pressing into the chest. And exhale. 1 more time. Excellent. Now we're going to go back onto the side. If you don't have the OOV, you're just going to be down on the floor. But if you have the OOV, your armpit is going to go into the saddle. So essentially, I'm just putting a little bit of the elevation through the armpit. Otherwise, totally fine if it's just on the floor, knees are bent, and we're going to keep a little weight in front of us. The bottom arm can just bend here. We're going to breathe in, lift the arm up, and exhale, rotate back. Inhale through the center, come back to the middle. And lift and rotate. And coming back. Up and over, exhale. Inhale, center. 2 more. As you rotate back, focus on your knees, staying stacked together. So there's no lumbar pelvic rotation. Try to increase that mobility through the upper back here. Last one. Rotate back. Take a breath in. And slowly coming back. Now keep the weight or drop it. We're just going to do a couple of arm circles. So arms reaches up and we're still rotating back into that extension. And then arm reaches forward as we're coming back to the midline. Arm goes up and over and opens back. And return to the starting position. Having OOV underneath the armpit as opposed to underneath the waistline creates mobility through more the upper chest as opposed to the lower, so it's good to alternate it. And we're going to press up and go to the other side. So OOV or no OOV on your side into the armpit area, or just on the floor. Knees are bent, arm underneath. The first sequence, lift the arm up, let your head, neck, and shoulders follow along as we rotate back, and then we rotate forward. You might notice some tenderness in that area underneath the arm if you have the OOV. It tends to be really restricted connection between one of the rotator cuff muscles, the teres major and our lats. They kind of connect there together. And frequently, if you have any kind of a shoulder issues, it's really a good area to roll or to on the foam roll or just put a tennis ball there and just release that fascial adhesions that might happen. And now we're going to go into those half circles. So arm reaches up. You can end up in the same position, but through movement of rotation through the upper body. And coming back. Inhale, arm goes up and over. And exhale, coming back. And 2 more here. Exhale back. And last one. Well done. We're gonna press up and go into our saw. So seated on the OOV or arc barrel or the floor. The floor will actually probably be the hardest, but you just wanna keep your tailbone a little elevated. And both legs are nice and straight. So ankles are flexed and you wanna feel like you're not gripping in the hip flexors. Arms will go out to the side here. We're gonna focus on keeping stability through the lower torso. So we're gonna breathe in. As we exhale, we're gonna twist to one side and pulse for 3. Go a little further and a little further. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate to the other side and twist and twist and center. Keep going. Exhale and further and further and center. And rotate. And center. Last one, side to side. 1. And exhale. And center. And the other way. 2. Try to use obliques to do that rotational movement. Now we're gonna add flexion. Breathe in as we rotate to the side. Exhale, we reach our top arm forward to the outside of the foot and stretch. The back arm reaches back. Inhale, we lengthen back our spine, still staying twisted, and exhale, we come back to the center. So inhale, we rotate first. Exhale, we reach across and lengthen. Inhale, we articulate our spine and stack it back up, and then go back to center. 2 more to each side. Breathe in, we twist. Exhale, we lengthen forward, reach to the outside of that foot. Inhale, spine lengthens up, and exhale, back to center. Inhale, rotate to the other side. Think of going up and over, not allowing your body to lean, and then we're gonna reach across. Inhale as we lengthen up, and back to center. Last one here, side to side. Rotate, and reach. Lengthen, and center. And last one. Reach across. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, center. Both arms come forward. We're gonna nod the chin and stretch forward. Spine stretch forward here. Take a breath in. And exhale as we lengthen all the way back up. Well done, almost there. We're gonna come off the OOV. And we're gonna go on to the back. But now we're gonna use the OOV against our upper back here a little bit. So if you have the ball, you're gonna use the ball. And it's just gonna go a little bit higher, almost like the ball will go towards the neck part. You wanna sort of let your neck drape or your head drape over the ball, or with the OOV, it's just going to be in that saddle position. Arms will reach forward. If you have the weights, use the weights, or it could just be the arm. And we're gonna go into arm circles. Inhale, arms lift up, circle out to the side, and coming back to the center. Inhale up, out to the side, and back to center. One more time this way. Breathe in. And then we're going to reverse that position. Arms go down, out, and back over. The goal is to create a slight extension in the upper chest And last one here. Now let's reach both arms up all the way. One more deep breath. Exhale, nod the chin, and slowly come back all the way over. We're gonna go into a little bit of a standing work here. So if you have the OOV, great. If you don't, you're just gonna be on the floor. But we're gonna come up, or Maureen, you can use your balance sit actually, part of the OOV, to stand on it. So if you have the OOV, we're gonna go on and kind of stand across it. If you don't have the OOV, you're just gonna be down on the floor with legs all the way closed together. And then from here, we're gonna go into a little bit of a squat. So closed, narrow squat already adds balance. But if you're standing on an unstable surface, you're gonna really feel this. You're gonna go as low as you can, and then slowly coming back up. Inhale, we go down. And exhale, we're coming back up. Two more. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale, coming back. And last one. And exhale, coming back. We're gonna step off of it, move it lengthwise. One foot is gonna go on the OOV. If you're on the floor, you're just gonna be on the floor or whatever unstable surface you can find. And from here, we're gonna keep our pelvis trying to focus on stability and bring the other leg up. If you can find that balance, we're gonna move that leg out to the side and then bring it back. Let it go out and coming back. Inhale and exhale. Just keep breathing here. Good. Hopefully you feel it through the foot, through the knee, through the hip. And coming back. Now we're going to bring that knee up and we're going to pretend like we're walking. So the knee moves up, opposite arm moves up, kind of a high march. And then legs move back. And we're going to reciprocate our arms as we're going through it. It's a lot of work even standing on the floor on a stable surface. Our goal is to find stability through that hip as we add limb movement to it. It's a lot of motor control, and that's truly what I think balance is motor control, our ability to organize our body through that really local stabilizing system as our global movers are doing all the work and coming back. We're going to come back to center, step down, and we're going to go onto the other side. So the foot is going to go right through the center of the OOV. Second toe will line up with the groove. And first, just kind of step on it and find that balance. And then let the leg go out to the side and coming back. Having the screen in front, hopefully, I don't know if you can see, but I can definitely see differences in my own body as I go side to side. You want to kind of focus, if you notice yourself leaning, that usually indicates compensation for glute weakness or lack of activation. So you want to kind of keep your body centered over that hip. Last one here. And coming back. Now we're going to go into the high march. Opposite knee, opposite arm lift. And then we're going to weight shift. Working our foot is so important. Anytime you can add barefoot workout to your day, just to be able to feel all the small muscles, mobilize all the small joints. It's kind of what contacts the ground. And if we're always in shoes, we use that proprioceptive feedback. So that's another reason I love doing OOV or any sort of props with mat Pilates. And back, good, last one. And coming back. Excellent, we're gonna step on down and we're gonna finish with the Pilates push-up. So we're gonna stand in front of the mat. We don't need any equipment. We're gonna breathe in, arms reach up. We'll lift up onto the toes, find length through the torso. Exhale, lower heels down, arms go to the side, not the chin, roll down. Walk your body back up, nice plank. From here, knees can go down. We're gonna lower upper body down, press back up, straighten through the plank. Lift your hips up through the downward dog. Find yourself back onto the heels and exhale, roll back up. We'll do one more time. Inhale, arms lift up onto the toes. Find your balance through that first and second raise, second toe. Now lower the heels down, not the chin. Roll up or roll down. Walk out to a plank. From the plank, or lower the knees, we're gonna push up. Back to the plank. Hinge the hips. Find your heels and press down into the ground as we roll all the way up. And we are finished. Thank you so much for joining me this